Hey, what's up, Deli Sub Virgin Gang? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Today on the art that I make while I fart, me sitting on the porcelain throne, me wearing the crown that weighs heavy, me doing the things I must do on the side, drawing on the paper that I must draw on because I'm poor and I'm destroying this hobby financially. We got exhibit, I don't even know what the heck we're on anymore. I got Tepig up here. Tepig's one of my favorite fire starter Pokemon. Doesn't really receive a lot of love because everyone for some reason thinks Emboar is a bad Pokemon, when in my personal opinion, it's one of the best fighting types that we have. In once again, my personal opinion. I understand some people aren't going to like that. Plus, really dope shiny. Emboar is just a goat in my personal opinion, starting with the very cute and lovable Tepig. Yes, I'm sure you saw the title. Yes, I'm sure you're tired of me talking about the pumpers of the Ghastly. Look, I'm tired of talking about it too, but stuff keeps like, it's just stuff. This one in particular is really funny to me. You'll see why it's funny here in a second. It's coming from people who, once again, in my personal opinion, don't need to be talking. One thing I cannot stand around here, I absolutely cannot stand in this hobby of hobbies, is hypocrites. I cannot stand when someone will make this huge fucking statement, will do this huge thing, will be all about one thing, and then all of a sudden completely change the entirety of it. Like, you can have different opinions about things, you can be open to information, you can do all that stuff, but whenever you're actually doing something, and then you stop doing that, and then you do something else, or talk about it in a way where it completely contradicts things you said before, cannot stand it, absolutely hate it, and the Pokemon market is completely full, and we've talked about it before. Dr. Pearpod holds the crown of the biggest hypocrite here, in my personal opinion, but we have a new player that stepped in here. You may recognize this person. Rock did a fantastic video about this person. I will drop it in the description down below once for check it out. We're talking about collect Pokemon. Now, this person here decided to weigh in on the actual Ghastly themselves, the actual pumping of it, saying, Ghastly, people pumping this stuff? What, did you graduate high school? It's something like that. It's got a weird, goofy title. We'll get to that video here in a second. This person does not need to be giving advice about anything pumper related. We'll get into why here in a second. They put out a video. I'm going to show some clips about it. I'm going to talk to you about why this person is not to be answering any questions about this. And you can literally listen to anybody else in this space for financial advice. This person is not the guy that I would listen to. Feel free to follow them if you want. No absolute animosity. I don't wish for their fucking channel to explode and go to the fucking void. But you do not need to be listening to someone who is a pumper talking about fucking pump and dumps condemning them. Here's why.
What's up YouTube, this is Collect Pokemon and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm gonna talk about pump and dump. And yes, I've saw many videos talking about, people pumping and dumping temporal forest Ghastly and stuff. So, I will definitely jump in and, give my comment and my take on these pump and dump. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you want more of these videos, let me know in the comment section what kind of topics do you want me to talk about. Well, there's only two reasons for people to pump and dump. The first reason is they don't actually understand the Pokemon card market. The second reason is they haven't actually graduated from high school. I can understand that a lot of people might not, have understood the Pokemon card market as much as, people like me or some other people have been.
So you get that. This person is an expert on the card market. This person knows everything that is Pokemon card market. They know their stuff. And the only reason people are going to pump and dump is because they're stupid and they have not graduated high school, or they're just a low-life scum. Like, you heard what they said. You heard what came out of their mouth. They're dumb people that pump this stuff up. There's people who don't understand the Pokemon card market. People who don't get how Ghastly from Temporal Forces is going to work long term. I do think there's a little bit of truth to that statement. I do think some people who are pumping this card expecting this really high immediate value 1 month after the card being introduced to the English market is really unrealistic, especially with how many times they could fucking print this set. However, this is coming from the wrong person. This person does not need to be telling anybody about anything regarding the pump and dump market, because this person is a prime example of a pumper. Rock made a video, as I was talking about earlier, they made a video about this person, about a card they were pumping. Remember when the Japanese market was all the rage, whenever everybody was anything Japanese was going to go straight to the moon, any and all those cards were going to be worth big dollar moolah. Yeah, this person was one of the people, collect Pokemon, was pumping a particular card, actually bought a bunch of that card, and was doing something very interesting with them. Let's see what they were actually doing. Let's see what they're... But first, let me paint a picture of how inconsistent this person is. We'll get to the pumping here in a second. So the card that they were actually pumping was from Incandescent Arcana. They were pumping a very particular CHR, which you'll know is like a trainer gallery card here in the United States, right? Fucking, it's crazy how flip-floppy this person was, because how they talk about that set in Incandescent Arcana, which we got in Silver Tempest, how they talk about this set versus what they did is the first indication you should not listen to anything they say. Let's hear how they discuss and what they think about Incandescent Arcana, which came out about a year and some change ago. You should really think about how they look at sets based off of this.
Now, this set, the timing of the set. The second thing I want to mention is the timing of the set. This set is going to be released in September 2nd. This is the time when the reprint of EV Hero as well as Amazing Volt Taco is hitting the market. According to different sources, they're going to hit the market in early September, mid-September. We're going to see a lot of overlap with this set, together with Amazing Volt Taco and Evolving Skies. That would definitely impact the sales of the set. And I think that Pokemon knows this, and I think that that is why they decided to release Evolving Skies and EV Hero together with Amazing Volt Taco in September, because I do believe that they're experimenting with this set, the Incandescent Arcana. They don't know whether it sells good or bad. Why not reprint something during that time that they know will sell well? And I think that's what is happening. So knowing Pokemon doesn't even have faith in this set that much, I would be very, very cautious not to buy into the set. I would be very, very cautious not to buy into the set.
I will be very, very cautious not to buy into the set.
Third thing is that this set is one of the strengthening expansion set, which means that it will continue to have CSR card and CHR card, together with the Radiant Pokemon, that is in every single set. Now, what will be interesting is whether there is going to be some very sought after waifu card.
So you kind of get the gist of what homie is saying there. He's saying basically Incandescent Arcana is a set that you should probably steer clear from, unless of course there is a very sought after female trainer that you can get from that set, right? But overall, the overall thing he's saying about that set based off the timing with EV Heroes and Astonishing Volt Tackle also getting re-releases during that same time is you should probably go towards those ones. I mean, EV Heroes after all, Umbreon to the fucking moon, and then Astonishing Volt Tackle, you got Pikachu, the VMAX Rainbow one, go to the fucking moon. Go for these two sets. Don't really worry so much about this set. That is overall what they're saying, with a little sprinkle of waifu magic on there just to cover their ass in case they're wrong, right? Now, they're telling you that. They're telling you everything about that shit, right? There is a certain card in Incandescent Arcana that actually received a huge pump because of panic buying. This card is an Altaria CHR card. It has Licia featured on the very front. I like Licia quite a bit. I like Altaria. Altaria is in my top 10 favorite Pokemon. Love the Pokemon. I've always used it whenever I do my Emerald playthroughs, my Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby. It's just a really good Pokemon. I like it. I know it's not the best dragon type ever. Fuck off. I like Altaria. Anyway, what did this person do whenever this card was actually introduced to the market? Remember, he's telling people to stay away from this set and intentionally trying to make sure this set stays cheap. It does not go anywhere because you should not buy this set because it's fucking trash and it's coming out when these two sets are also dropping. Remember that, alright?
Right, so the Japanese Pokemon card market has gone on steroid in the past 2 to 3 months. Let me give you an example. I'm not sure if you guys remember a card called Alola and Friends. That one, in the black box. So, Helios actually went to Japan and we got some people to sell it for us in Japan. A PSA 10 graded version was sold, or my PSA 10 version, we sold it back in Japan for around 600,000 yen. You can use Google to yen to USD to translate that. 60,000 yen. Okay, so this was around a month and a half ago. Currently, the buyback price, so the buyback price was 60,000 yen. 600,000, sorry, 600,000 yen. Now the current buyback price is around 900,000 yen in 1.5 months. This is how crazy the Pokemon card market is. in Japan. And there is people who are saying that it's a bubble. This bubble is going to burst. And to be very honest, you know, if you're looking for a conclusion, the conclusion is the market is still going up. It's not going to burst. Okay? There's nothing that is going to burst. There's only currently many undervalued cards that will chase up to that 1 million yen range at a graded PSA 10.
That's how this video starts. We're going to get into the actual pumping here in a second, but this person right here is explaining about the Japanese market. This was like 2022, whenever prime time. It was right before Scarlet and Violet came out. He's still talking about Incandescent Arcana, certain cards you should actually buy up and all that stuff. We'll get to that here in a second, but right there, talking about the Japanese market, how it's not going to pop. It's still got shit going up. There is still some value in the Japanese market. Do not fucking get me wrong. Don't you fret. However, I really do think it's funny that that's the thing when like me, J-Love, Crystal, and a couple other people who have like their fingers and have actually dipped their toes into the Japanese market and watched everything happen and unfold and all the craziness that happened, told everybody that this was temporary, that there was going to be something that happened where it just fucking drops off. The second there was no value here anymore, the second people smelled a whiff of shit, they were going to leave, and it was going to fucking take the value with it. So everybody investing in this shit, you might want to think twice about that, because this is super temporary, and people really are not into Japanese cards like they say they are. And what the fuck happened? What actually happened with that? Cards across the board in Japanese are down, minus a couple specific ones. There are so many cards in Japanese that have decreased in value. How do I know? Because I've been able to actually get certain ones of them. I've actually been able to fucking purchase from Japan again and not feel like I'm getting fucking ripped off. Not like I feel like someone's holding a gun to my head and saying like, hey, these FOMO prices, pay them, motherfucker, or you're not adding anything to your binder. I was actually able to get a lot of cards recently because the price of a lot of shit in Japanese has gone down. Meanwhile, over in the English market, people are trying to do that exact same thing over there with certain cards, and they're saying the exact same bullshit they were saying about the Japanese market. Oh, scarcity, oh, population, oh, do all this stuff. All of which is true until, of course, it's Umbreon fucking VMAX. Then none of that shit matters because anyone's gonna fucking, they're gonna buy what they want for that stuff anyway. So, Japanese card market, it's not gonna pop. Absolutely aged horribly. It fucking did, and the value left, and people aren't as interested in Japanese cards anymore, which I'm personally happy about. That's your first sign you're listening to a fucking idiot right there.
I did an experiment, and I'm gonna tell you what I did.
Oh boy, tell me what the experiment is. I can't wait. I sure hope it's not a pumping situation like the one you're saying that people do if they haven't graduated high school. That'd be a real fucking shame, wouldn't it?
Okay, so 2 months ago, I made a video talking about waifu cards and some waifu cards that, you know, you might have missed out. And these are the character rare cards, including the Clefairy, the Liaza, and I think the one with Blaziken, and the one with the sheep. I forgot the name.
So he never corrects us in the video. If you're wondering what he's talking about, the Liaza card, the character card, he's talking about the Altaria with Licia in it. The sheep card he's talking about is going to be Alessa with Flaffy in it. That's what he's talking about. These two cards, at one point, were heavily considered to be like on-the-rise cards or fucking sleeper cards, where people were talking about these cards are going to be super crazy because they have a female trainer on them. And like, look, I mean, it's mostly about the Pokemon, but like, look at that female trainer, bro. Look at that fucking hot shit going on right there. Like, basically perpetuating that whole movement. And these two cards were kind of nuts for a while. And everyone told everyone, like everyone who was in that shit was like, dude, this is obviously manipulated. This shit's gonna drop fucking super hard, and you need to be careful. A lot of the things happening in the English market now happened in the Japanese market back then. Just some of y'all weren't around, or some of y'all weren't paying attention to what was going on, which I don't blame anybody for doing that. But there were clues in what was happening. So let's keep going. Those are the cards he's talking about. It's fucking, it's Licia is who you're referring to, but it's goddamn Altaria card. It's an Altaria card. You absolute moron.
After I made that video, actually around the time I made that video, I did a large purchase. I bought out around 130 Liaza, and that cost me $1,300 US. Okay, 1,300 USD for 130 Liaza, so that's around like what, $10 each. Okay, now here's the thing: is it $10? Yeah, something along that line. And then I took them all to grade. Well, I chose around 100 of them and sent it to PSA at the $15 level plan. and that would take me or cost me around 1,500 US dollar. Okay, the question is, how did I get the funding? How did I get the money for this? You're gonna say, hey, collect Pokemon. We're not like you. We don't have thousands and thousands of dollars sitting around just to grade. Oh, I know. I sold a Luigi Pikachu box for 3,125 US dollar. Okay, so I bought a Luigi box with 20 US dollar many years ago, kept it, sold it for $3,125. I bought 130 Liaza raw card from Japan for 1,300 US dollar, and I sent it all for grading, 100 of them for grading at $1,500. If you are doing the math right, I actually still have 325 US dollar left for Mother's Day dinner. So that was great.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks! So this dude sold a sealed Japanese product. This motherfucker sold a Luigi cosplay Pikachu box. That is a fantastic box, by the way. As someone who owns a couple of the cosplay Pikachu boxes and some of those beautiful promos that are in them, I'm going to tell you right now, if you were fucking selling one of those to get a bunch of a card you can pull from a set, like a card that's going to be printed in sets multiple times over, and you're wanting to get those graded, right? Unless you sell those cards immediately, which this fucking pumper probably did do, alright? That is the dumbest, stupidest trade I could think you could possibly do. Those are some of the only cards in Japanese that still have some value because of how kind of rare and obscure they are, where the boxes were around for a little bit and the price on those motherfuckers have gone up so much that getting them as a normal collector, if you weren't around back in the day, is impossible. If I didn't get those ones back in the day, I for sure wouldn't have them. So that's insane. Bought like 120 of the Altaria card, 120 of them to grade them, and then that cost some crazy fucking market shift, right? He'll get into that here in a second. This dude did a buyout very similar to the Ghastly, yet he wants to tell people that the only reason people pump stuff, they pump and dump all that, the only reason they do that is because they haven't graduated high school or something. So was this like before you graduated high school? Was this like actually, was I making fun of a minor back then or something like that? Was like yo, you guys must have been schoolyard bullies or something. Like, you guys must have actually fought each other, right? It was before you graduated high school. I don't know. Hey, getting your GED is a great big deal, dude. It really is, and I'm very proud of you. But you see the irony in this shit? Taking advice from somebody who participated in buyouts and pumping, talking about people doing buyouts and pumping that they're stupid and haven't graduated high school. It's fucking ridiculous.
Now, what happened was that after I bought out all the Liaza, people panicked. The market panicked. And whenever, anywhere have Liaza, people start buying them out. I actually just started buying the 130, and whenever there are more, other people will buy it out. And for the past 2 months, I've seen Liaza going up, 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 up in price. And so because of this is what happens to the card Liaza right now. As of filming of this video, a PSA 10 version is around 150 US dollar. And yeah, if you guys can see, you guys really like this. If you guys have been following me on Instagram, I've been showing this around. So I've got around 74 copies of PSA 10, and there are still some that I've sent for grading. Yeah, most of them were 10. There were some that have been damaged, even though it says it's near mint, so expect around 70% of them to be PSA 10. So what happened is that now each one of them is worth 150 US dollar. And given that I should have around 100, let's just say 80, yeah, I think I used the number 80 PSA 10, I've already gained $12,750.
And that's just it, babies. That's a pumper. Call him Pumper's Dome right there. That's the most pumpiest shit ever. You saw that entire big wall of that stuff. The only thing is he took it to the next level, and he's actually great. The exact same shit you're seeing with Ghastly is exactly what this motherfucker did with the Japanese market. And that card he's talking about, that $150, oh, opossum. But he actually came out on top. The PSA 10 of Licia must be insane, right? Oh, yeah, but it's not a Licia opossum. It's Altaria. Yeah, I fucking know it's Altaria, but this dunce doesn't. This person keeps saying Alicia over and over again like it's a fucking trainer card. And that's the mindset people had when it came to Japanese. Fuck the Pokemon. Fuck all that shit. Fuck the card. Fuck all that. It's got a fucking female trainer on, so it's going to be worth a lot. But, hey, maybe this card's still worth $150, right? Maybe Alteria is worth $150 as a PS. Fuck no, it's not. Just for the sake of this video, I already own a copy of that stuff. I managed to pull a couple of them when I was opening Incandescent Arcana myself back in the day. I bought a PSA 10. You want to know how much I bought that bitch for? You want to know how much I bought that card for? $28 is how much that. Dude, people are going to lose some serious money thinking like these motherfuckers. People are going to lose some serious money following and listening to these goddamn people that are trying to act like they're the paragons of this fucking community. Say what you will about me. Say what you will about that stuff. I'm not pretending to be somebody I'm not. This would be like, what he's doing would be like if I came out and was like, guys, we need to be super nice to people. And like, we need to not be like, we need to be real conscious of how people feel about stuff. It'd be super weird coming from me because I'm extremely critical of what other people do in the Pokemon space, right? That'd be super weird. So why are we going to listen to a pumper telling us that pumping is for people who haven't graduated high school, like some kind of... Dude, Rock Sandy was spot on about you. He was 100% right. I wish he went harder on you. I wish he went fucking way up there on you. Because you were literally just fucking doing this shit. Woo! Pretending and being who you need to be, going right up the assholes of people, selling them some bullshit, hopping on trendy topics when you feel it's appropriate to talk about it, and then just contradicting yourself the whole way. The Japanese bubble burst. It did. And people left because it smelled like shit over there. They're like, the value isn't doing any good in Japanese. Notice no one's really trying to pump any of those modern Japanese cards anymore. Notice Ghastly's like $4 in English, and like fucking people are trying to pump that bitch up to $270 in a PSA 10 in Japanese. Like, notice how it's swapped. I told y'all. I told people. Crystal told you. J-Love told you. A bunch of people told you that the second the Japanese market was dry, these suckers were going to leave. And what happened? They left. Good for us. Good for the people who still collect Japanese. I'm picking up cards left and right that I wasn't able to pick up before. And it's fucking awesome. But we told everybody, pumpers like this, calling other pumpers out, is absolutely hilarious and is the definition of hypocritical. That's all I got. Appreciate it, Virgin. See you later. Hope you're having a great one. Jesus Christ, man. Oh, it's a Licia card. There's Licia right there. I don't know a Pokemon that it is. It's got some feathers or shit. I don't know.